In this episode, Ginko's charms work their magic on a cursed scribe. In just about every episode of Mushi-shi, Ginko investigates Mushi, those mysterious entities that only some people can see. The episode A Sea of Ink shifts focus, telling the story of a woman who records the stories of Mushishi, perhaps most importantly Ginko himself. I'll give a brief summary before looking at some of the key themes in the episode. Tanyuu is an archivist and scribe. She is the fourth in a line of cursed scribes, each of whom has a birthmark sealing away a dangerous Mushi. The role of scribe is hereditary, determined by a debilitating black birthmark. In Tanyuu's case, the birthmark covers her right leg, preventing her from walking. However, there is meaning in Tanyuu's suffering. Through her task of recording the tales of visiting Mushishi, she strips away the hold of the dangerous Mushi sealed inside her leg. When Tanyuu first met Ginko, she was sick of Mushishi. She kept hearing stories about Mushi-shi solving Mushi problems by killing the Mushi, and she came to see it as the arrogance of humans towards creatures they didn't really understand. As she tells it, the pain in my leg was joined by a pain in my heart. Then she met Ginko, who told her stories of solving Mushi problems peacefully, and the spark was lit. Tanyuu is a good match for Ginko. She's incredibly conscientious when it comes to her responsibilities and deeply compassionate. Both she and Ginko are lonely souls, he because the Mushi he attracts prevent him from settling down, she because her cursed leg prevents her from leaving her isolated library home. With the curse in Tanyuu's leg comes a chronic pain that ebbs and flows. While she hopes she will eventually be able to get rid of it, that is far from certain. That brings us to the first theme, uncertainty. Uncertainty is fundamental to Tanyuu's life. She lives in the awareness that she may be able to rid herself of her Mushi curse if she perseveres with her task, but she may not. Thus, she lives with a sort of melancholic hope. Her relationship with Ginko too is uncertain. Through the hottest heat of summer and the coldest, snowiest depths of winter, Ginko is a homeless traveller. That's precarious enough even without his constant encounters with Mushi. When Tanyuu sees Ginko again and teases him about him still being alive, it's close to gallows humour. The Japanese poet Kenko had a memorable quote that is relevant here. In his words, "The most precious thing in life is its uncertainty." Another quote from Essays in Idleness reads as follows: "The world is as changeable as the deeps and shallows of the Asuka River. Time passes, what was here is gone. Joy and grief visit by turns, once splendid places change to abandoned wastelands. And even the same house as of old is now home to different people." Kinko's passage captures a vision of a changeable world full of decay, a theme which is also underlying the narrative of Sea of Ink. Kenko's work Essays in Idleness is an example of the Japanese aesthetic concept of aware. To explain the meaning of the aesthetic term aware, in his work A Tractate on Japanese Aesthetics, Donald Ritchie writes that aware is applied to the aspects of nature or life or art that move a susceptible individual to an awareness of the ephemeral beauty of a world in which change is the only constant. His or her reaction may be a resigned melancholy or an awe or even a measured and accepting pleasure. An example of this is enjoying cherry blossoms while they're in bloom, knowing that in about a week they will fall from the tree and start to decompose. So it's less about uncertainty and more about change and impermanence. Both Ritchie's phrases resigned melancholy and a measured and accepting pleasure fit Tanyuu and Ginko in this episode, if perhaps to differing degrees. In particular, the fondness and respect for Mushi that the two share brings pleasure into their lives, even if Mushi bring with them unpredictability and pain. Towards the end of the episode, it is revealed that the scrolls upon scrolls in the Karabusa library are periodically devoured by ravenous bookworms, and the scribes have to copy out lost texts by memory. Tanyuu doesn't mind, her bookworms are her pets, which Ginko describes as a dangerous hobby. I'm a bookworm myself, so maybe I'm biased in finding this cute. In this episode, the Mushi are a source of unpredictability and instability, and yet they will always be a fundamental part of Tanyuu and Ginko's lives. They vividly represent the world of constant change, which one can view with awe or despair, depending on your point of view. But keeping unpredictable Mushi as pets, what could be a better symbol of Tanyuu's resilience and even pleasure accepting the uncertainty of her strange life? But what do you think? Did you find this episode uplifting, sad, or both? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Have a great day and thank you for watching.